It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on Habscast.
Yeah, what a great evening. We're going to have to crack a beer here, Rick. You just, I got, first thing I thought of there was Paul. I bet you he left before the Habs tied it up there. You don't leave a minute left if the Habs are within a goal, because they seem to have, how many comebacks is that now? They lead the league anyways in comebacks. And Lane Clutson comes through again. What a rush. What a friggin' play, eh? Beautiful. And then Susie, who 20 seconds before that, I think, how did he not score? And then he comes back and, of course, just pops it in there thanks to Lane's great rush that saved the day for the Canadians. And hey, they seem to have turned it around on the shootout too. So, they didn't have to get to the third shooter, but I have a feeling that tonight, Nick Suzuki was not going to be one of the three shooters. With Tekshay taking the second one, eh?
I know. It was just like with a minute left, like, okay, well, we know we're not winning this game, but lo and behold, they came back and win a game. They it was not a great effort. We know that, and I don't think they were planning on having a great effort tonight. Like it or not, they rolled four lines, and they were just being, getting ready for the playoffs and trying not to get hurt and being a little bit careful out there. And you don't like to see that too much. I was not a fan of that. I think it's playing with fire a little bit, but to me, that's what it looked like. It looked like barely a preseason game from the Habs' point of view. Not a lot of puck battles won. Florida had 11 regulars out of the lineup. I think by the end of the game, they had 12 out of the lineup when Kulikov left. Boy, be careful, guys. I know you want to rest up for the playoffs, but be careful. It's a risky game to play.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't think they played that badly. Just, teams when they've got a bunch of, you see it all the time, like looks like an AHL team or whatever, and they end up playing half decently. I like the fourth line tonight. I thought that that was the best. Well, it's the first goal that the fourth line's got in 14 games or something ridiculous like that. They shook up the lines, right? And they put they brought Cappy down, and I know in our last podcast I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Kapanen gets moved down because he has been struggling lately. Puck management just hadn't been good. Tonight he plays one of his best games since the Olympics, and fed that really nice pass to Deneau for his breakaway. Few good plays. He wasn't losing the puck like he has been lately. I think it was a good idea to get him on a different line and get him away from top lines, and just to maybe try to get his confidence back a bit. It's funny. He ended up taking, playing with Deneau, you would have thought that he'd take even less face-offs, but he had 7 draws tonight and actually was back up above 500 or 50% tonight. But Lane just, what a time to pick up his first assist in 5 or 6 games, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was looking at it, if they lost that game and it was really looking that way, they'd have had 15 home losses, and only one team in the East has more than 15 home losses. So that close to being the second worst home team in the East.
Yeah.
You really hope that turns around the playoff. I think. I hope so. I hope that, because this crowd is just amazing, right? And the first line, I thought the third line was fine. I thought the fourth line and the second line were good tonight. I thought that the second line had one of their better games in a while. and that was with Texier on it, which he played pretty well. Nice snapper in the shootout there. Wow.
Oh
Here I
yeah, no,
was
it was
thinking,
good.
oh, he's going to try well, it's not stupid if it works, but the same move again, and then this time, no, he just snapped her. And I'm glad they decided to shoot, because they've been, and I think Marty might have had a chat with them about it, like,
Hmm.
don't just try these friggin' moves all the time.
Right,
Actually shoot the bloody puck.
right.
And, Cole shot and it was partially saved, went through. Didn't count as his 50th goal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the snapper and Dobie. Did Dobie come up with some clutch saves
Oh
at the end
yeah.
of the game? 6th straight win for Dobes. It's been a long time since the Canadians gave up more than 3 goals in a game, and that streak continues. I want to look it up and just double check, but it's
Okay.
been maybe a dozen games or something like that where they haven't given, or 10 anyways, where they haven't given up more than 3 goals, and that it's been a long time since you could say that about a Canadians team, that they're continuing to play pretty stout defensively for the most part.
Yeah, I think you brought a good point that maybe I didn't consider too when you said that Florida was dressing a lot of guys that they are fighting for their NHL future. For some of them,
Oh,
maybe them are getting like one audition, and you saw that, and that I'll concede that is a really good point, Grant. I think some of the players, again, they fall into the trap maybe of overpassing to Caulfield, and you saw some of that. But yes, to get back to your last point, I mean, Dobes just gives the Habs the leeway to make plays and to not be so scared with the puck. And you saw a few times where they had to make a little bit of tricky plays to get the puck out of their zone because they were pressured. But maybe a few months ago, they would have just panicked and coughed up the puck. But there's a confidence level right now with the way Dobes is playing, and he's got that swagger, and he gets into the opponent's face a little bit, and you can do that when you're winning a lot because it kind of feeds off the energy, but you feel that confidence, and it's especially important for guys like Struble and Jacky that don't get a lot of time or don't get a lot of rope. And you're seeing the result. Both of them are really a lot more confident. They're holding on to the puck a little second more to make a safer play, and being a little bit more successful in what they're doing. So, man, I mean, Dobes has really changed uh, so much on for the defensemen and the way they approach the game and the way they make plays and the way they hold on to the puck and the way they just play with confidence overall. There's a lot less there's a lot less overthinking, a lot less worry, and a lot less
yeah.
coughing up the puck and trying to rush plays because they don't feel they have to as much. And I could see it, and you could see the results. I think for all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Adam Engstrom picks up his first NHL point
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
Hell of a game from Engstrom, I thought. I thought he was, I mean, that first, the hook and call or whatever caught a little bit up, but I don't, I don't necessarily blame him entirely for that. But, he is good with the puck, and
oh yeah,
he almost scored the tying goal there too a little later. But it was nice to see him. I wasn't sure if Cappy had touched the puck in the slot,
yeah.
but he didn't. So Engstrom ends up getting the second assist and picks up his first point, and that was pretty cool. I thought Engstrom, for the most part, looked okay tonight. Gooley, I like them giving him these maintenance games. You know what? That's not a bad idea. You wonder, there must be something still lingering with Gooley, probably to give him a maintenance game. I mean, somebody with 200 games NHL experience, and you're not sitting Matheson, you're sitting Gooley for
Yeah,
maintenance.
yeah,
It just tells me that there's still something bothering him a bit,
no
enough
doubt.
that they can sit him. But you give Engstrom a go against basically an AHL team, so that was smart too. Maybe, right? Get him in. This was the night to get Engstrom in and sit Gooley, because you're going to need Gooley in the playoffs. He's going to be a big part of the team in the playoffs. But let's have a look at the obviously way to go Sens. So,
Yeah.
they stomped
Oh
on
my.
they stomped on Tampa. Tampa's I don't know what's going on there. Carolina and Boston had quite a hootenanny tonight. Carolina won in overtime 6-5. Philly
Okay.
5-1 over Jersey. They're not going away, are they?
No, no, no,
Our
no,
friend
no. And
JGJ has to be pretty happy with that.
yeah.
Columbus tied it. This makes up for them losing. Remember how long ago was it that they blew the lead really late and
Mm,
and ended up losing? Well, they turned the tables tonight. Tied tied Detroit really late, Fantilli, and then won it in a shootout. So it's tight. I'll have to look at the standings here in a minute, but
yeah.
then Ottawa beats Tampa 6-2, stomps on them. Crazy standings again. I don't know if let's see if the NHL has it updated here. They've got the Habs with okay, so three-way tie at the top of the standings, Rick, in the Atlantic. All 78 games, 102, 102, 102. Habs are third because of Rowe. Actually tied with Buffalo with 42, but that game with Tampa is going to be so big, isn't it?
It is, and you just mentioned about maybe this was a good night for Engstrom to play. It's obviously probably not a good night for him to play on Thursday. That game's going to be especially intense. It's going to feel like a playoff game, and I think they're going to want Goulet back in the lineup, and they're going to want their guys back for that game because you don't want to expose them against a very angry Tampa team, and they're going to be fighting to get their first overall
Yeah,
position, and they're also going to be angry about losing to Ottawa 6-2. So they're going to
true.
come in firing, and hopefully Montreal will be a little bit angry too about their performance tonight, and say that this is not typical of them, and they don't want this to go on, and they haven't played so well, I guess, in the last little bit. The last game too wasn't the best, so you want both teams to come on strong and to just get back into the right habits. You don't want to fall too far back in preparing for the playoffs and taking it a little bit easy and being careful. There has to be a middle ground where you are competing and you're ready to go. So I am so looking forward to Thursday's game. It's just going to be one of the great ones, I think, for the season there.
Did they clinch third tonight, I wonder? Boston is 6 points back of Montreal, and maybe our listeners can fill me in, but they've got 3 games left, and they're 6 back of Montreal, and they're 3 behind in row. So the best they can do is tie Montreal in row. If the Habs lose their last
Yeah.
4 and Boston wins their last 3, who's got the tiebreaker there? I wonder if somebody. What's the next tiebreaker? Do you know what the second tiebreaker is, Rick?
No, I'm sorry, Grant. I do not know that answer. Hopefully, one of our listeners will be. I didn't hear
Okay.
anything about it on TV or anything tonight. I was watching the game in French. I don't know if they mentioned it in English, but so they didn't mention anything about Habs clinching anything in French. So I wouldn't know.
Okay. Demi continues to man. He's got some magical mitts, eh?
Oh
And
yeah,
I was watching the English broadcast, and if you tuned in, you saw Demi with the F bomb.
I
Johnny
did see that.
Still, eh?
I did see that part. Yeah.
Oh, did you? And he barely even usually, they get a little sheepish after, and he just kind of he said sorry, but it's like what a character, eh? And I saw him using the F bomb on the ice too when he got slashed earlier. So anyway, he's learned the most popular English word in the NHL vocabulary. It seems to
I
be
know.
universal. It seems to be universal in hockey. That just, I don't know. It's it's so appropriate when you say it. And I think everyone in every language uses it. But anyway, it was funny. And then you see I can't think of the girl's name. Laura. Anyways, in the studio, and she's just she's embarrassed because no 5 second delay there, right? And
No, no.
I don't know if Demi will be back on TSN getting interviewed anytime soon, but that was quite hilarious. But Ottawa with the win now. Boston and Ottawa have the 2 wild card spots right now. Columbus is so Ottawa's got 92, Columbus 90, Detroit 89, Islanders 89. So the Senators, Columbus, Detroit, and Islanders all have 4 games left, and Columbus is 2 back of Ottawa. Detroit is 3, and then Washington 5 back of Ottawa with 4 to go. So it's looking tough for them, but that's going to come right down to the wire, isn't it?
That last game of the season, I think we're all gonna, even if the Habs clinched it or if they're not playing, I think I'll be watching a lot of hockey because you got to
Absolutely.
be, it's going to be so fascinating to see. And almost every one of those teams are like in a position where they can get hot, right? Like Philadelphia has really been coming along really, really well, and Porter Martone has brought a little bit of a boost to that lineup, and they're generally been playing very well. And Detroit is one team that they're fighting for a lot. I mean, they got to be thinking that there could be some changes coming off if they don't make the playoffs this year, because they could only go so long with this rebuild that has started a long, long time ago, and it's not going very far. In my opinion, I thought they should be further along, a little bit, a good deal further along than they have, and it's been very questionable. So they're going to be really hungry, and Columbus hasn't made the playoffs for a while, and I thought that they
Mm-hmm.
really felt like this team should be better than they are, and they have rather newer coach, so they're going to be on fire. And the Islanders have a new coach, and they'll probably, there's always a boost when you get a new coach. So all these teams are just crawling for it in different ways and for different reasons. So
Yeah,
again, I it's going to be fascinating for all of them have a storyline, you could say, to their playoffs aspirations.
yeah. Well, okay, so it's okay. Regulation wins is the first tiebreak, sorry, and then regulation or overtime is the second. So, yeah,
Okay.
Boston's only 1 behind, so they could still, if it's a tie, they'll be ahead in regulation wins, ahead of Montreal. But unlikely that the Habs are going to lose the last 4 and you know um, not make it. We're. I think they've got third wrapped up for sure, and basically, um, it's going to come right down to the wire for
Yes.
first place, obviously, because
Yeah.
the 3 of them tied up. Montreal's 7 back of Tampa and Buffalo in regulation wins, so they have to finish with more points to get first, but. Just go in, just beat Tampa, baby, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. Montreal still, like, last 10, they got the best record. They have the best record in hockey: 9 wins, 1 loss. So you can't complain about that. Yeah, they played a Florida team that B team, but we've seen it. We've seen it a lot, and those teams they're loose. There's guys playing for spots next year, as you noted, and they end up being spoilers often enough. And
Yeah.
Donnie Cappy learning with Dano might be part of the experiment. I thought about that. He's not a bad guy to play with for Cappy, because that's kind of the type of player that they hope a two-way guy like that.
Yeah.
But
Kapanen could be a little sorry. Kapanen could be also a little tired, and that's perfectly acceptable. It's a heck of a change for him in terms of schedule, and
yeah,
he's not only had to play a lot of games, which is obviously never easy, but he's played against some of the best players in the NHL. Often, they were trying to match their best lines against Cappy's line. It's really a lot to put on him. So again, playing on a fourth line with Dano on the wing, and Anderson. will probably just lessen his responsibilities and lessen the focus on him a little bit, and chance to, as you said, play against maybe lower of the lineup opponents, and that might be helpful. I think part of it too, though, might be that although I'm not saying he's a soft player by any means. I mean, he battles in the boards. I think playing more of a a board game and more of a going in the corners a little bit more might be a nice way to get him ready for playoff hockey and just work on a little bit of details that he could do a little better. Again, he's not fearful. He goes to the front of the net. He takes a shot to put to get a goal in, but that fighting for possession and battling might be a good little something for him to work on in the next few days, because it's going to be a lot of that come playoff time.
Yeah, well, he's been playing a fair bit on the wing lately. Like Newhook sort of obviously has taken over the second line center thing again. He was second line center tonight. Didn't mind Newhook's game. He that line was fine, but a lot of it is driven by Demidov. Demidov is he is the key to that line. But they did have good speed. Like
they did.
Texier is a little faster than Kapanen, and it looked like those three kind of meshed as far as being all together at the same time coming up the ice, because they're all pretty fast players, and it seemed to work. So I like the second line. I like the fourth line. So, and what did that entail? That entailed Cappy moving from the second line down to the fourth. So they're probably going to keep those two lines together for now and see how it evolves. But I mean, it's a big difference having Anderson and Kapanen on the fourth line as opposed to Veleno and Gallagher. Just in the terms that, okay, these guys can actually score some goals. So it gives them a better option in that regard. I just have not, even though the fourth line has had a lot of offensive pressure with Veleno and Gallagher and Deneau in the past few games, you just never got the feeling that they were going to score, like really.
Right.
So
right.
Now that's different. Anderson had a great chance. Deneau scored. Cappy had a really good chance. He set up Deneau for a breakaway. They could have had two or three with a little luck tonight, and that hadn't been the case really for that line in a long time. So,
exactly.
I've been a proponent of Kapanen being the second line center, but he has not played like a second line center since the Olympics for the most part. So I don't have an issue with him being dropped down for a bit. I still, he's 22 years old. He's a rookie in the NHL. Top two centers, a tough friggin' spot to ask a rookie to play. There aren't many that do it. And I personally, even though I'm obviously a Kapanen fan, hey, when he's not playing well, I'm not gonna say he is. He's not. He hadn't been, and it was a good thing for him to move down. He actually getting about the same amount of ice time that he'd been getting lately anyway. So it wasn't a huge difference. Like let's have a look here at the Demidov played 20 minutes. There you go. Eh? It's clear. It's clear that Marty is a Newhook fan, right? 17 minutes. He's actually taken Kapanen's spot on the penalty kill too. I've noticed like Kapanen hasn't played on the PK the last 4 weeks.
Right. I noticed that.
Last 5 games. Yeah. And tonight I thought with Veleno out that he'd get back in, but he didn't. It was Newhook basically has taken his spot on the I wanted to get. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you take your glasses off. There we go. There, you can put them on again. Doesn't matter if they glare. With the picture this size. All right. So Lane, I guess Lane has become the Oh no, Dobson had more time than him. Okay.
Really? Eh?
Noah played 25-52. He's getting more with Carrier out. Dobson has become getting more shorthanded time, right? And he
Yeah.
played 247, which was tops actually. Newhook played 240. So Marty thinks that Alex Newhook's a very good defensively, and I guess who am I to argue, man? You know, they got 102 points. They're tied for first in the Atlantic, I guess. And I don't know. I don't know his stats for his last 6 games on faceoffs, but it's got to be up around 60%. Like all of a sudden, he has improved his faceoffs. He really
Yes.
has, and
Yeah.
71%, 110, lost 4. So he's got to be 55 plus in his last bunch of games in the faceoffs. And for a guy that's a career 40%, hey, he's going to start winning 55% of his draws. That's huge for the team. Um, Suzuki won 11. Jake was 8-8. Deneau actually took fewer draws than Kapanen, which kind of surprised me. But Cappy, for the first time in 5 games, above 50%. So that's a positive too. But Demidov, 20 minutes and 19 seconds. So clearly, Marty liked that line as well and gave him quite a bit of ice time. Texier, 16-18. Cappy played 11-26, and that's about what he's been playing lately because he's not getting any shorthanded time anymore.
Yeah.
Kirby wasn't a great game from Doc coming back. I didn't think the third line did a heck of a lot. They were -1 on the night, but I give Kirby a bit of a pass at being his first game back, and it might take a game or two to get back. And he got the stick in the face, and here we go again, broken cheekbone.
That's my first thought.
Broken cheekbone from tap from Arbor's stick. Yeah. What do you think of Arbor tonight? -2 in 11 minutes, 1 shot on goal, 2 hits. I mean, the -2, you can't really blame him necessarily for the goals against. I don't know. What was your thoughts on Arbor's
I
game
thought it
tonight?
was fine. I thought it's just again. I think often he was on the ice with when Engstrom was on the ice a few
Engstrom
times, and it's not easy to play with a rookie like that, and it's not like
on
he
the wrong
definitely
side.
can't. He can't, and he can't carry a duo, right? He should be the secondary guy, but he had to kind of carry the duo because he's the experienced veteran, more of a veteran, definitely than Engstrom. So, and Engstrom is trying to find his game, and for him to be effective, he has to take more chances, and that creates a little bit more breakdowns, and then that's not Jai's game the best. So, I'm very happy with what he did, considering the position he was put in and the role he had to play today, which is not really a specialty. And I think a lot of times he was kind of left high and dry by mistakes that happened further down the ice.
Yes.
Again, he doesn't have the great skating ability to correct mistakes or to break up plays when breakdowns happen. So, all things considered, he was not put in a great position to succeed. So, if you look at it that way, I'm very content with the game that Jakai had. He did very well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, on that one play, it was just a good play by the,
That too.
by the outskated him. And I mean, hey, that happens. It was a kind of a breakdown by the Canadians. Struble was up and he didn't check the guy, and he pinched and got past him, and Arbor was left alone. So I don't necessarily fault him on that.
No.
Hits tonight. This one kind of floors me a bit, but Dobson with 5 and Texier with 4 led the way on the Habs in hits tonight. Not going to see that too often, folks. Now, Yeah. So Anderson had 1 hit, and Tekshay had 4. How often do you see that stat line, eh? But
Every
anyway,
70 years, maybe. I don't know.
well, hey, and another solid game from Dobson. I thought he had some good. He blocking shots again. Had the most time on ice, penalty killing. Ended up
Good.
+1. Picked up another assist. Joined the play offensively a few times. Almost scored on a rebound. He's as it's turned out, picking up Dobson in the off season. If you want to point to reasons why this club's um, got 102 points and they've got another 11. They're going to improve by 14, 15 points probably once again. Picking up Dobson is the key to this club reaching the next level.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gives you quality minutes. He does a bit of everything. If you accept him for what he is, you're really content. Like if you're looking at his size and you think, man, I wish he would hit somebody really hard. Well, he's not. Uh, the thing is, he's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to play a lot of games. He's going to play in a lot of hard situations. So he can't go around smashing everybody he sees either. He's got to play a little bit safer. Yes, I wish also sometimes he'd play with a little bit more physical authority once in a while just to show that. But hey, at the end of the day, they got him to be effective and to play big minutes, and he's more than stepped up to the plate in those areas of the game. And blocking shots is another way that you're tough. It's not easy to do in the NHL. They sting, and he's got more than anybody else in the league. So yeah, he's not tough in a physical, intense, I'm gonna hit somebody hard kind of way, but he's tough in a way that he will block shots and get in the way and do the hard things that you need him to do. That David Savard did a few years ago, but he brings you a heck of a lot more offense and a lot more skating ability. So those guys are really important, and you hope that come playoff time, you'll be able to adapt to that kind of game and maybe use the size a little in a different way once in a while, because he'll have to. But I'm really content with what he is, and they got him for a long time, and it'll be a very good investment because also he's still pretty young. I mean, he's a rather young defenseman. We forget that, but he's 20. I don't think he's 26 yet. So, you know, a good acquisition for the Habs. They got exactly what they needed.
Yeah, for sure. Deneau 40% on draws. Somebody saying Deneau was 54.4, not 94.4%. I'm not quite understanding that, Eddie. He was 40% on draws tonight. And I certainly didn't say 94.4, but anyway, maybe you can clarify what you're getting at there. Yeah, the Mark saying just joining the party. Is Cole going to be snake bitten or will we see 50? So if you haven't already talked about it, thanks for the $10, Mark. By the way, I don't know what happened to my podcast this afternoon, but I wasn't able to monetize it, and people stepped up. I asked maybe if a couple, could send a couple of bucks just to so I could get some money from the podcast, and because YouTube's I guess not going to pay me, but frig, one guy there who I'd never got a donation from sent me like $16, and I really appreciate that, and ended up covering my expenses, you could say, for doing that afternoon podcast. So as always, guys, thanks for the monetary contributions. It's really really appreciated. And this, in case you're wondering, this one it appears to be monetized. So good. I'm glad. I'm not going to be begging for money, so that's always a good thing. Let's see here. We see Arbor shot more often when. Yeah, that's a good point from Swad. He actually nice to see 100 mile an hour slap shot on net from Arbor. With that 107 mile an hour, he got one off that was over 100. I'm sure tonight there that was a good shot on net. He's maybe got to work on his accuracy a bit more. Like don't just hit the goalie. Like it's not, even though it's 107 miles an hour, it's not going to go through the goalie's chest. You still got to You still got to pick those corners. So, but baby steps, right? Get a hard shot on net. And you're right. Like when you're playing on your opposite side, you get, that's why they flip it around. When the draws are on in the offensive zone, they put the defensemen on their opposite sides to start to, because they can get off a better one-timer being on the other side and get better shots on net. So, yeah, that's maybe one of the bonuses of Varber playing on his offside is that, he can maybe get off a few more one-timers there that are going to get on net. But
at the very least, keep it low. Try to keep it low. I think sometimes they rise a little bit higher than they should.
yeah,
If you could just keep it a little lower, you get more tip-ins, more rebounds a little bit. So just try to work on that a little bit and see what you could get out of it. Because, I think that's so true. That shot could be a heck of a weapon. And if you could use it even twice a game, let's say, it's just, it's something else that the goalie has to think about. Arbor's shot, it just frees up a little bit more options for the forwards if he's a threat that way.
yeah, that was, Demi's starting to shoot more, right? I think they finally got through to him. And we saw again, when he's not breaking his stick, he's got a hell of a one-timer there that gets on, and he scored. I mean, I saw it 2 years in the MHL, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and then last year in the KHL. He's got a bomb of a shot, and it's just, I'm glad he's starting to use it more. Hopefully he gets to 20. He's got 18 now, 2 more to go. Hopefully Slav gets to 30, and all these guys don't end up 999. That would be cool if they do that. Rick, I got to plug in. I have to plug in my computer here.
But I do hope Caulfield gets his 50th goal soon, because it's really affecting Slavkovsky's play. He is trying to feed Caulfield so much that it's almost a little bit desperate. I jokingly said on social media, I go, does Slavkovsky have in his contract that he gets a bonus if Caulfield scores 50? Because he's just trying some impossible plays. He's been so erratic, I find, in the last 2 days with his puck management, Slav. So I'm hoping for his sake that Caulfield gets his 50th goal and we could just move on from this a little bit there.
Yeah, but you know what? That's Slav. He's just he's just a nice kid. He really is, and he's selfless, and I kind of like it in a sense that, he'd rather that Cole get 50 goals than him get his 30th.
Yeah.
And it just says so much about the kid in general. And one of the reasons why they drafted him, and part of it is, I guess, hey, you'll get some, he'll get a bit of credit for being the guy that set up Cole for his 50th or whatever. It'll go down in the record books. Liam McGuire 20 years from now and say, yeah, when they set up from Slavkovsky, Cole Caulfield, when we're doing a podcast when Liam's 88 and or 86 or whatever he'll be in 20 years, and he'll remember, on April 7th, 2026, that great feed from Slavkovsky, and he'll remember every detail, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but good stuff. I just I can't say enough about. But yeah, when he made that nice stick handle in the slot there, and then okay, here we go. He's going to unleash one here, and he had a great opportunity, and he tried passing it to Cole. And I was like, oh, geez, Slav, you got to be a little selfish there sometimes, right? But the kid does have 29 goals this year. I'm not going to. It's not like he doesn't shoot now. He's got 29. He has at least 29 shots, and yeah. So, but anyway, I think Cole's going to get it it'll probably be a lucky thing, or it'll bounce off his friggin' ass or something and go in. But 4 more games, it is starting to creep in though, the thought that, geez, maybe he just stays stuck on 49, and that would be too bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Scott Powell, love Dobes compete. Absolutely, man. Those friggin' pad saves. He's such a competitor, and there's a reason why he had so many wins at Ohio State, that he was good in Laval, that he just wins games wherever he plays. It's because the freaking guy's a battler, just high compete level. It's what gives me a lot of hope that the Canadians, look out in the playoffs here, because Dobie is going to be hard to beat. Like he's got his confidence, his save percentage. He's one of the best top 5 goalie in the league the last month. I don't think it's maybe top 3. And I don't see that changing here. I really think that Marciano's doing a great job, keeping the movement. He's not as erratic. He's not as unorthodox as he used to be. He's staying, because he's a big guy. He's a big goalie. If he stays square to the puck, and it isn't overcompensating either way, he gets in front of a lot of shots and saves a pile of them. And then when you add in his battle and his athleticism, he's a hell of a goalie.
Yeah. And he likes to scare us when he goes out of the crease and tries to handle the puck in ways that.
Well, and I like how pissed off he gets at the refs too, and the guy kind of tripped him. And, you just, again, it shows just how freaking emotional and how competitive he is.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, he's the opposite of Carey, and that's okay. At the end of the day, how many cups did Carey win? Right? As great, as fantastic a goalie he was, never won a cup. Well, Dobie, I think, can be the guy that takes them to the promised land here as they grow, and because this team has all the pieces to be to win a cup. I really think that this group, this core, somewhere down the line here is going to win a cup. And don't be surprised if it's Dobie that's the goalie. I know Fowler's been, he's the guy that they've been saying, well, but how many times, Rick, do we think that this is the guy that's the future in nets, and it ends up being somebody else? Just like 80% of the time, it's not the guy you think that's going to be the starter in a few years on a team. Goalie's the most unpredictable position there is, and the end of the day, Dobes is bigger than Fowler. He's probably even more competitive. They're both very competitive, but Dobes is just at another level there. Technique-wise, obviously Fowler's got the edge, but Dobes has closed the gap in that regard a lot in the past year or two, in the past 4 months. So Canadians have two goalies that are going to be starter material in the NHL. You want that, and they're both young, and also we've seen it a lot of times too on cup runs in recent years, especially. There's more than one goalie gets plays, so that's a possibility too, that Dobie comes in, maybe loses a game or two. Fowler comes in, plays. They win a series, and he loses a game or two. Dobes comes back in. That's all possible, but I think it's going to be Dobie starting the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe not steals a series, but is a huge part of the Canadians winning at least a round or two this year.
Oh yeah, he's gonna win. I really think he's gonna win at least a few games here and there. That's what you want your goaltenders is to steal a game here and there to give you some support. And the thing too with having those two goaltenders is it's such a weird position because any minor injury, even one that doesn't take you out of the lineup, but that any injury just really messes with your technique, and any little difference can lead to huge consequences that are not really good. So, if ever, God forbid, Dobie pulls a groin muscle and it affects his game for 20 games or for the playoffs, well, it's such a huge deal to have a really good backup goaltender that you can rely on, because that's what the good teams have. They always have a really good backup for those reasons. If you run on one goaltender, and unfortunately we saw that happen in Montreal for a long time, right? You rely on that one superstar goaltender, but if he misses games regularly, you're kind of left with not a very good goaltending, and that affects everybody around. So Montreal are really well positioned in nets. It's good to see.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. 39, 78, 54. Just curious here. 58 divided by 78. Dobie's, if I'm not mistaken, Dobish's win percentage is now at 744. Rick,
Unreal. That is unreal.
that's got to be top three in the league, I
Oh,
would think. So
has to.
that's a rookie goalie, folks. 200. James, my Czech. We've got a Czech friend here that
I
he
love it.
sent me 500 the other night there, and this is in Czech crowns. And I'm thinking, okay, how much is that? 500, right? And it ended up being like $32, which is,
Wow,
yeah, pretty damn good. So this would
that is
be,
good.
I don't know, 12, $13 he just sent me on top of 32 the other night. But this
Amazing.
James is originally from Slovakia, and he became a Habs fan when Plekanec. He now lives in Czechia, and when
Wow.
Plekanec was with the Habs, and it's like he says 13.23. See, I said 12 or $13. There you go.
Phenomenal.
Thanks, James. But it's like 10:43. It's like 3 in the morning in Czechia. So there's a diehard Habs fan. Thanks,
Two
James.
thumbs up.
Dobie handling the puck helps the defense so much. You know what?
Yeah.
He's aggressive, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it as long as you don't screw up. I think he's a better puck handler than Fowler at this point.
Yeah.
Karuna. Okay, he said he called him Crowns or whatever, but Karuna, great comeback. What's with the lack of urgency early in games? Yeah, I know. Good point, John. I was looking at the stats just in general. The last 8 games or something, they've been outshot
Right.
every game except for one where they outshot the Rangers by 1. So, yeah, having to rely on the goaltending. The Habs goalie being better than the other teams. It's kind of flipping the script a bit lately, eh? But
Yeah.
hey, I don't mind it. It does bring back memories of the Carey Price era. How many times? How many
Oh,
times did he steal games for the Habs when they
way
were
too
outshot?
often. Way too often.
Yeah,
It's every team has a weakness. I guess Montreal's doesn't start off so strong. Hopefully, they don't drag it too long. Goaltender makes 1 or 2 good saves, wakes up the rest of the team, and then they get going. I could live with that. But it would be better that they don't wait too long to get started. Like, don't wait until the end of the second, and try not to win games with only 10 seconds left all the time, because it's nerve-wracking. Or at least tie games with 10 seconds left.
well, it's tough on me too because I'm trying to, like I get backup thumbnails for the YouTube thing, and
Oh
I
yeah.
don't just always want to just put the post game thing as and I have I've learned to have 2 or 3 available. I've had one on ice for the past 3 games. It's Cole, 50 goals, baby. That to put up as the thumbnail,
Yeah.
and no, got to wait another day here, But then Lane, so I ended up using Lane clutch, and I used as
That's a good one.
the thumbnail, but
That's a good one.
I mean, right up until 20 seconds left, I was going with just the post game
Yeah.
show because they were going to lose, right? But then, here we go. So I really quickly put together a Lane
Good job.
clutch and thumbnail.
Really good.
But that's why, folks, you might have had to wait a couple extra minutes for me to start the podcast because I was getting my YouTube thumbnail together.
Nice.
Thanks, Grant. Been meaning to bring up Marco Marciano's contributions, most notably Dobes' calmness, glove hand, and rebound control have all gotten better. Yeah, that's well
true.
said for sure. Rick, you gonna go till 11 or 10 minutes?
What time is it now? 10:51. Yeah, we'll do 11 o'clock tonight, and then I will let you take over solo, my friend.
Okay, I appreciate you hanging in for that long. I see Vezina potential in Dobes. Yeah. Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you around to see George Vezina play hockey there, Kevin? You find that his style's a lot similar to old George? Geez, you'd have to be pretty old to you'd have to be pretty old to remember George Vezina. But yes, I know what you mean. You mean the trophy? Yes. Yeah, I would agree that he does have that. Thank you for staying so late, Rick.
Thank you, Mark.
See, the folks appreciate it. The folks appreciate it.
Thank you.
Not just me. Great comeback. What's with the lack of urgency early in games? Once again, outshot badly against an inferior team. Yeah. Sorry, that's a double, but yeah, it is a good point, John. Playoff time. Fortunately, though, this team is so talented and skilled that they're able to come back and win games when they go down early. But playoff time, and especially when you're on the road, and just how crazy crowds get when the other team scores early and gets the lead, and it's tough. It's tougher at playoff time to come back from deficits on the road. They've done it this year quite a bit, but you're playing with fire, right, Rick?
Yeah, because I mean, like I'm pretty confident that I'm not really picking about who Montreal might face. It might be Tampa Bay, it might be any team, but I'm thinking about a team, let's say Buffalo, right? Like, could you imagine how loud that arena is going to get when Buffalo finally makes the playoffs? If they get a lead early, forget it. Like, we pride ourselves at the Bell Center of how loud Montreal fans are, but Buffalo are going to be really up there too if I'm not making the playoffs for that long. Boy, be careful.
Yeah. Well, that Tampa game, that 6-5 friggin' game about 2 weeks ago, one of the loudest. I mean, the game was unreal. One of the best regular season games I've ever seen. It was just, it had everything. Lots of goals, even some nice saves. Like Luukkonen came up with some big saves, end-to-end fights, brawls, friggin' you name it. It had everything. And then Buffalo comeback. And it just, the crowd was nuts, absolutely nuts. And I loved it. I'd like to see Buffalo. Well, I mean, maybe hopefully Montreal plays like I don't know, Columbus in the first round or something like that, right? And Buffalo plays Tampa or something like that and beats them, and that'd be cool. And I'd like to see Buffalo win a series as long as it's not against the Canadians, and then maybe play Montreal in the second round and get, and lose. But I hope Ottawa and Buffalo make it. I also hope that Columbus somehow gets in. I don't know if this is all possible, but I suppose it is still. But Yeah, Ottawa and Columbus could be the two wildcard teams. Yeah, that's possible. So
That'll be good.
I'm hoping those three teams make it, and Winnipeg somehow can pull off a miracle here and make it in the West, because the more Canadian teams that aren't Toronto that are in there for me, the better.
But we kind of want Philadelphia to make it too, because we have a loyal listener who's a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah,
We want our listeners to be happy too, right?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I've got a buddy that's connected with the team too. So
Oh, good.
yeah, Philly's the other one. If Columbus doesn't make it, Philly. I just, everything that Columbus has been through,
Yeah.
they weren't expected to be anywhere close. Yeah, that's right too. Either Philly or Columbus, I wouldn't have an issue with that. That's true. I think Marty will keep Demi's ice time up come playoff time, just getting him ready. How can you not? He's playing. I'd say in the past 5 games, he's been Montreal's best forward. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, no, 100%. He's playing with, and it's not just the intelligence of his game is it keeps getting better, but he's picking up the energy and the pace. He's not getting tired. He's picking up. It's like he's getting a second wind just now. A little extra gear when he's trying to get through an opponent, a little quicker turns, a little battling in the puck a little harder. You're seeing signs of a guy that's really coming along well. So there's no reason, I think, to cut on Demi's ice time. I don't see any sign of fatigue, and he's going to be a player. He's going to be a factor. So you want to get him ready to be a factor. No, that's a good call. I hope that Demi keeps playing a lot of minutes. Tonight they tried to keep it a little closer, and I understand, but I think Demi deserves extra ice time because he's just been playing so well, and you want to continue him playing with those good habits, such as taking more shots, being more decisive on his decision making up close, trying not to be as cute with the puck. And at some points during the season, he was trying to be a little too much finesse with soft passes, and you're not seeing as much of that. He's making hard, crisp passes, and he's it's really been a difference maker for him and for his line. So top notch for that.
Led the team and led all forwards in ice time on the Habs tonight. Only
Fantastic.
one with more than 20. So good. Give him when he's going. I like a meritocracy.
Yeah.
And hey, when the rookies are going, give them the friggin' ice time, man.
Yeah.
What do you think of Caulfield exiting without interview on the ice? No, that's fine. Hey, he wants to get his 50th goal. Good. We need Rangers to beat Buffalo tomorrow. I'm not confident about that one. Frig, Rangers have been on a roll lately, man. They won like 8 something. They had 8 the other night. They're kind of no pressure, right? Guys are fighting for. You don't. Just like tonight, you look at that lineup. They had 10 regulars out or something crazy like that, or more. Florida, on paper, it's like, this should be a cakewalk. Well, until there were 30 seconds left in the game, the Habs were going to lose. So, yeah, and here, like anything can happen. They gave Montreal a scare. Yeah, the Rangers were decent against Montreal too. So.
With having given away some of their players, they kind of had to put a new first line together of Zibanejad and Perreault and Lafreniere. And surprise, surprise! What a line they've become! My gosh,
yeah,
I think they're really popping in goals.
Lafreniere's got been rolling, and Perreault. Well, I still it still flabbergasts me that he lasted till the 20s in his draft year. I did not get that at all. The kid is just he sees the ice so well. He's such a nice playmaker, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's not his brother Jacob. Like, he's freaking, he competes, and I just the Rangers got themselves a nice piece for sure with Perreault going forward. they haven't had many draft steals in the past in the first round in the past
Oh,
decade, but Perot
yeah,
definitely definitely constitutes a good pick for the
for sure.
Rangers. You know, but hey, what's Lafreniere up to now this year? Right? He's actually his stats aren't that terrible right now, eh?
I believe he might have hit the 20 goal mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, good. Well, good
So
for him.
that's pretty impressive. And his I think his ice time has gone up quite a bit too, which helps. Uh, yeah, and also I believe Adam Fox missed a chunk of the season, and he's
True.
back, and that kind of changed the whole outlook of the team. Right now, you got some offense from the back end because that was the big deal with there was no secondary option really with New York, so there was nothing really being produced on the transition game. Now they have somebody, but I guess it is too late for them and where they were in the standings, so they
Okay.
kind of had to do a bit of a reset. But interestingly enough, they're the one team that seems to have every winger that's over 6'5" in that line. Aspinall and Greentree and Rempe and Rubrick. It's like everybody's 6'6" in their system right now.
Yeah. Well, Washington called up the other Prota brother,
Yeah.
and 6'6", 6'6", and Wilson on the wing with the two of them. So they got a line of 6'6", 6'6", and 6'3", all 220 plus. So there's a big line. A lot of beef there.
Yeah, Satan's line 666.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lafreniere, 22 goals, 31 assists, 53 points. So his
Wow.
second best year as a pro. Uh, maybe he can. He's still not that old. He's 24, so he could still potentially be a point per game guy. That's certainly what you hope for when you pick a guy first overall.
Yeah.
Slav, I think, is going to be that. He's up to 69 points now, so yet another thing. Slav to hit 30 goals, 70 points. In December, the end of November, would we have predicted 30 goals and 70 points for Slav? No. Um, Hopefully Cole gets that one more goal and he hits
Yeah.
50. He's got 86 points now or something like that. Looks like he's going to hit 90. So the Habs are going to have two 90-point scorers. That's, again, something that they haven't done. You have to go back to, I guess it was Damfus and Recchi or Damfus and Turgeon or something like that, back to the
Yeah.
90s. So, for the first time this millennium, it looks like the Canadians are going to have two 90-point guys. And Hudson, hopefully, here breaks 80 as well, and they'll have three
Unreal.
80-point scores. So, all good
Unbelievable.
stuff. All right, Rick, it's 11:01. So, guess what? You're going to turn into a pumpkin. So, I'm going to let you go, my friend. Thanks
Thank you
for uh,
very much, Grant.
thanks for continuing to do this. You're great to have on. You're getting
Thank
pretty
you, Grant.
you're getting pretty good at this too. I'll have to say.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, you've helped me along. You've coached me so much here
Oh,
and there. So I appreciate that very much. And the listeners have been fantastic. Really, really sending out some nice compliments. And believe me, I appreciate it very much. It's just a
yeah.
joy to chat with all of you. So have a nice night, everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Thanks, Rick. Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay. Enrico Springhetti, folks, the one and only. Superb man, above all else. Good scout, good analysis, but first and foremost, just a great guy. I'm lucky to have him as a friend. Um, Thinking the boys will recover for the next game. Yeah, Donnie loved Engstrom's game tonight. Great first point. Yeah, I thought he was good. Richard saying Hudson gives 100% every shift. What a competitor. Yeah, big time. You gotta love his compete, don't you? Texier roofed that. Yeah, he did. Darren saying that Demidov was the best player tonight. I got to agree with that. What a dangle, Hudson. Going to be a huge, huge game, no doubt, Thursday. Love Galley, but resting him was the right move. How about those mitts on Texier? It's a shot. Philly is now third in the Metro. Yeah, they are 90 points. So yet they're only 1 point up on the Islanders, but they do have a game in hand. Flyers are 7-3 in their last 10. Islanders are 3-7. So Detroit 4-6. It's been a few months since they were below 500 over a 10-game span. So inopportune for them. And Columbus too, after being so crazy hot under bonus, 3-6-1 in their last 10. And Ottawa, the inverse, and Boston both 6-3-1. So that's why they're in. And right now, Islanders, Detroit, and Columbus are on the outside looking in. But yeah, gonna come right down to the wire, folks. Philly will be wanting to win that game, that last game against Montreal. So loving it. I love that it's every game's going to mean something. Anyway, Cole, hey, that's fine. It's bothering him a bit. This will be a good lesson for him. He'll grow from it. But hey, still got 4 games left, 240 minutes. I'm pretty confident that he'll get it. It's crazy the Habs are fighting for the Eastern Conference. It's crazy, concerning how young they are. That's a good point, James. And in such a competitive Eastern Conference too, which is way superior to the West this year, right? So if we play in Buffalo, half or more will be Habs fans. Yeah, well, I don't think he was talking about Montreal playing in Buffalo, just Buffalo being in the playoffs. But don't forget, Mark, it's hard to get those tickets. You know, teams have a way of making sure that local fans get the majority of the tickets, right? You don't see it half and half at playoff time. Teams put a kibosh on that. Like we've seen at Toronto, right? Not nearly as many Toronto fans in Ottawa when they play each other in the playoffs, because they just don't, and fans want to go to the games. They aren't selling them. They aren't selling the tickets as freely as they do regular season. Jay Fed, not the greatest win, but I'll take it. Absolutely. Over the last 2 months, Dobes save percentage 925. Oh, Eddie the stats man's back. Thanks, Eddie. Only Hofer and Wedgwood are better. Yeah, your save percentage a little better than Monty's, eh? One more beer. Hang out with you folks for one more beer. Sound like a plan, eh? Blessed believer. Hey, that's not, don't see too many posts from you. Welcome to Habscast. The new goalie coach deserves a ton of credit for this new Dobes 2.0 that we've seen since the new coach has taken over. Yeah. And Dobes is the only one in the playoffs for sure. Maybe Hofer can get in, but not Wedgwood. Colorado's not making the playoffs. Missed the game. Who was centering Demidov tonight? Newhook. Cappy played on the fourth line and probably had one of his better games in the last month. Fourth line was really good. Their best game in a long time. And Cappy gave that a spark. So, hey, I like balanced lines and look good. I'm finding it really hard to hate Texier and Valeno. Oh, they're Habs. How can you hate them? They're a lot better than I thought. Oh, well. Really nice if Habs got first. Let Tampa and Buffalo beat each other up. Get by the Bruins. Yeah, well, I'm always careful with what you wish for, right? Folks, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Mark, maybe you could let us know how many people have subscribed so far. I'm thinking we've probably had 800 to 1,000 viewers so far. So I like to get 10%, 1 in 10 of you hitting the like button. Usually, sometimes it's 5%. I have a feeling it's probably around 5%. I don't like that. Please hit the like button if you don't mind. Rick would really appreciate it. Next level hockey, folks. Specialists in hockey development, trusted by NHL prospects. Whether you're looking to elevate your shooting, skating, stick handling, or overall game, NLH is here to take your game to the next level. Visit them at nextlevelhockey.com and follow their Instagram. You see that below at nextlevelhockey_. For daily tips, posts, and updates. If you or someone you know have aspiring young hockey players who want to elevate their game, trust Next Level Hockey to guide them forward. Next Level Hockey. It's in the name. Smooth as butter. And Bonachère Caves. I told Caveman Chris to send me some bullet points. He hasn't done it yet, so I'll just wing it here. But you see the two spelunkers in the caves. It's a fantastic spot. I couldn't believe it when I went through just how well it's maintained, and they have planking all the way through and lighting, and the guides are just amazing. They're so effervescent and into it. Chris hires students, and they're just top notch, and they'll take you on a guided tour, and it's great, and the kids love it. You'd be surprised just how much kids love going through exploring these caves, and you learn so much, especially about bats. And they get a bad reputation, bats. I'm sorry, they're one of the coolest animals. I mean, frick, flying squirrels basically, right? But it's a private family-owned business run by hockey fans, and I mean hockey fans, fervent. 613-628-2283. If you want to learn more, go to Bonachère Cave, their website. Just type in Bonachère Caves, you'll go right to it. It's in Eganville, which is a small town. Dale McTavish, son Mason, plays for Anaheim. He played 9 games in the NHL. He's from Eganville. Village of about 1,000 people. It's just so cool. It's a really nice visit. Go to Eganville, road trip. Hey, we're exploring Canada these days, right? Not as many people going to the US. Keep the dollars in Canada, support your local businesses. May 24th weekend, they're open until Thanksgiving. And again, and it doesn't matter what kind of day it is, it's always the same in the caves. If it's raining, if it's hot, if it's a really hot day, cool off in the caves. If it's a really cool day, warm up in the caves. If it's raining, it's not raining in the caves. So it doesn't matter the weather. Go check it out. Fabulous. I guarantee you won't regret it. Bonnechere Caves. There. 652 likes. Folks, come on now. 1,000 viewers, 52 likes. So 1 out of every 20. This is it. Like, I don't do a song and dance, folks. In the last 10 games, Newhook was tops in the Habs, 55.2. See, I kind of thought that. So good for him. For a guy that's been, like, I'll give credit where credit's due. 53.8 for Deneau, 52.8 for Suzuki, Evans 52, and 127 faceoffs, and Cappy at 25%. Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons why Cappy ended up getting switched back to the fourth line because, he hadn't been winning so many faceoffs. Part of it, I think, is all of a sudden you go from, Newhook starts taking some, and then you're not taking as many draws, and then you feel like, oh, I got to win. There's pressure on it. But tonight, Cappy won 57% of his draws. So yeah, they were good. I'm at 100% is the first clip when I watch any podcast. Good man. Or Molly. Molly could be a woman. I don't know. Thanks, Molly. So Kapanen played on the best line tonight. Seriously, I don't get it. Newhook, Texier, Demidov, all lefty. Yeah. Yeah, well, they were good. The fourth line was really good. And Kapanen is quite an upgrade on Galley. I hate to say it, but I like that lineup, but give him a little bit of time. Like, the first line struggled tonight, but the other lines picked it up. Well, that's not going to keep happening, right? So if the second and fourth line are clicking and the first line's clicking, look out. The Habs will be really tough to beat. Right on, Grant. Support our local businesses. Couldn't agree more. They don't need us anyway, eh? No, they don't. Showing 60 likes on mine now, Grant. Okay, thanks, Drum Dude. The podcast's so interesting, folks need to be reminded. Yeah, I know. You got to remind them to hit the like button. I hate to have to ask, but, I do ask because I know it's not a huge ask, right? You just got to hit a button. They don't take your information, like they don't take your credit card information or anything like that. Just have to like it. Appreciate it, folks. Kapanen and Demidov lost their spark since the break. Yeah, well, I don't agree with that. Demidov's been very good the last few games. Cappy, yeah, he wasn't. Oh, you mean together? Like, yeah. No, I don't mind. I don't mind that they were separated. I don't. I said it last game that maybe that needs to be done, and that's fine. Deneau played one of his best games tonight. Yeah. It looked like him and Cappy had a bit of chemistry, and that's fine. Big Texas, buttery smooth. Goalie was looking for the one-hand move. Yeah, I know. Yep. That's his go-to. And it looked like he was, he kind of let on that he was going to be doing it, and then just napped her. The Molly was a great pet. Oh, okay, top end. All right. Puppy dog called Molly. The pizza man delivered. Yes, he did. Dano, first goal in 15 or something like that. Almost scored. Cappy sprung him for a breakaway. Anderson almost scored one. All good stuff. Yeah, I meant chemistry-wise. Yeah. Hey, that's fine. They played 78 games together. Demidov's going to be the rookie scoring leader, it looks like, and Cappy might still have the most goals by a rookie. So, if you'd have told me 75, 76 games ago that they'd play together for 76 games and accomplish that, not something you can complain about, right? It's good stuff. Yeah, we've been up over 100 viewers since for the past 20 minutes. That's good. I like to see it 100 concurrent, concurrent 100 plus is good. Oh, Eddie coming up with some more stats here. Last time Habs won the cup was also last time they had 480. No, that's right. I did mention this the other day, Eddie, and LeBeau. Yeah, I actually put up a stat on this the other day that they had 480 point scorers that year, and I don't think it's coincidence that they won the bloody cup too, right? So no, that was pretty cool. See if I can find that that stat. Well, we lost Molly. You're talking about your beloved pet or whatever. We lost this little guy not that long ago. Teddy. He was bravest little bugger you ever saw. Trusted everybody. Lived to be 14, so, and fought a really a bad disease the last 2 years, and held in there, never complained, never whined. Tough, yeah, he was 6 pounds, but tough as nails. Absolutely adored him. Step pet, right? Wasn't my pet originally, but grew to love him. We miss you, Teddy. You were a great Yorkie. I was never a lapdog pet kind of guy, like the big dogs, But I grew to love him dearly. Miss him. But yeah, let's see if we can. Oh well, doesn't matter. But yeah, I put that stat up, Eddie, and yeah, and then the next scorer on the team had 60. So while the Canadians won't have 480-point scorers this year, Slav's going to have 70 plus. Demi, Slav may have 75. Demi, 65. So pretty damn close as far as, and also, Suzuki's going to have 100. Caulfield's going to score 50. So even more scoring punch really than that group, because the top scorer was Bellows with 40, and 97 points. Well, Susie's beaten that. So good stuff. Condolences for your loss, pets or fam. Absolutely. Sometimes I feel like they're looking for Cole a little too much as I watch from my couch. Oh yeah, yeah. We were talking about that. Teddy, very sorry to hear that. I've been there. Oh wow. Yeah. Why do they only live to be 15? It's just it's one of the tragedies of life. Why don't they live to be, why don't they live 80 years or 100 years? It's just, you know, it's one of the tragedies of life as far as I'm concerned. Freaking dogs are the best. They are family, without a doubt. Goals season 93-94, 648. This year, 616. Hmm. Yeah, damn close. Dogs are the best. Kyle, I agree 100%. I was going to say 120%, but there's no such thing. 100. You can't top 100. My first dog got cancer and didn't make it to 5. Oh, Ken, don't talk to me about that. I've lost in the past 6 years, I lost all 3 of my pups to cancer. And luckily, one of them made it to 15, Cole, but the other 2 never hit 10, never made it to 10. They all died of cancer. Tough, 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 tough. Cole won't. And yes, my puppy dog was named Cole, and that was before the Habs drafted Cole Caulfield. Cole won't let his scoring get in the way of the right play. That pass to Demi the other night proved it to me. Yeah, well, 3 primary assists, right? Definitely. My brother breeds huskies, sled dogs. They're wild, but still have his fam. Change the dog food. Hey, so you're blaming me on it? Hey, I fed them good. They didn't get old Roy. Put it that way. I think it might have had something to do with water. I don't know, but my brother breeds huskies, sled dogs. They're wild, but still have his fam. Yeah, no, I feed top of the line. I don't chintz on dog food, that's for sure. Um, let's see here. There was Cole. 15 years. He was Border Collie German Shepherd mix. Beautiful, beautiful dog. Smart as a whip. 15 years. So, hey, I don't think you can blame that on the dog food. It was his time. Testicular cancer, not much you can do. But he, so smart. And always had to be, he was like basically attached to me. And that was so tough. Here was his brother, the guy that used to print my newspaper for me. He picked up one of the pups. I had a German Shepherd, and my next door neighbor on the farm beside me had a border collie, and Shepherd knocked him up. So I felt obligated to get one of the pups, and he took one of the others. So those 2 are brothers meeting for the first time when they were like 13 years of age, since they were pups. So, yeah. Water always degassed, sometimes filtered. Oh yeah, I filter water from my pups now. That's 105 human years. A good run, sir. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, cancer, frig, everybody. It's the ravage of the world. Cancer. Way too many people, not just dogs, get it, right? Tragic. All right. Well, this is a happy time. Let's not talk about our puppies that passed away any longer here. I'm just going to check the. So Thursday night, I guess I'll be flipping back and forth. Michigan, I'm in a bit of a dilemma with that. Oh, by the way, Saskatoon upset Edmonton. Overtime in Edmonton, Game 7. I got to talk to Guy Flaming about that because he does the color for Edmonton. That must have been a hell of a series, man. Oh yeah, I chatted with Bryce Pickford's dad. Got in touch with me today. Wanted my opinion. Said that he's watched some of my videos that I've done on Bryce, and he wants my input on what Bryce can work on in the off season here coming up. That was humbling. That was cool to get contacted by Bryce Pickford's dad, but I thought that was pretty cool. But it also just goes to show you that, hey, they're invested in getting better and wants to get better. His dad wants to get better. It's I thought that was cool, and the fact that he thinks that I can somehow help in that regard really caught me off guard. But I'm going to do some extra videos, study on Bryce here coming up, and give his father James my opinions on what he needs to continue working on this off season. He's going to put together a development plan. And then I said, well, hey, for when he joins Laval next year in a few months, he was saying, I was like, well, I think he'll probably be joining Laval this spring. So I don't know. We haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, well, that wait till your season's over. But I'd be expecting. I suspect that he'll be joining Laval at the end of the season, unless they go to the Memorial Cup, and that's a possibility too. But anyway, that was pretty neat. Maybe we can get Bryce on. I'll ask his dad. That would be pretty cool to interview him. Gatineau gave Rouen all they could handle, right? 5 game went to 7th game tonight. Rouen won 5-0, but hey, kudos to the Olympics for 8th place team took the 1st place team to 7 games. Had the winner at home. 3 game 7s tonight in the queue. Quebec 1-0. Playoff type hockey 1-0 over Charlottetown in Charlottetown. So a little bit of an upset there for the Rampa to advance. And the other one here, Shawinigan. Ooh, okay. 6-1. They took care of business in game 7 at home, winning 6-1. So good for them. They got the new barn. I know someone was asking me my favorite a rink when I was scouting. I loved Shawinigan, the old barn, just very intimate. I thought it was great. All right, folks. Apologies here, but I have to go for a leak. I'll be right back. I'm back. I am back. Oh, we lost a few people. Grant, you missed it while chatting with Rick, so I'll say it again. Get Cole to score that 50th. I'll donate $1 for each of those goals to you. Anyone else crazy enough to match me? Okay. Yeah, red. I want to see that red, baby. Red. $50. That would be cool. All right, Mark. Geez, I bet Cole better get that 50th goal, eh? Frig. Yeah, no, that was cool to hear from Mr. Pickford from Shaw. Is it Chauvin? It's right on the close to Lloydminster, right on the. It's in Alberta. Freaking village of about 570, so farm country, right? So Pickford's the Pickfords come from good stock, small town Alberta stock. Their village. All right, folks. I don't see anybody piping in here. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool if now he's got it. Really got to do it right. 85, 86, Naslin 43. Yep. Yepper. Cup years. Not a coincidence that you got to have good players. 110 points for Mats. Bobby Smith 86. Robinson 82. So yeah, maybe it's the Habs year. Nashville's fighting hard for their playoff spot tonight. 2-0 versus Anaheim. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Nashville make it, but I guess it would be at the expense of Winnipeg. Thanks for the update. I can maybe have a look here. Check out the score. Check out the scoreboard. There's still LA's in the spot right now. Minnesota beat Seattle. I guess Wright hasn't been back since he got clocked there, eh? He hasn't been back in the lineup. Must have got a concussion from that hit. Edmonton at Utah 4-4. Nashville 2-0 over Anaheim. Vegas at Vancouver 1-1. You know, with Kadri getting hurt there too, it just makes you wonder, geez, if they could have got Murphy at the deadline. But Canadians seem to be liked Doc a bit better than you tonight. Good speed, battled in the ozone. Used to be a defensive liability, not now. Looks promising. Yeah, you know what? Before he got hurt, he was not a defensive liability, Murray. He was actually that year. He was excellent down low at center too. But then he came back and he was out of shape. That's he's fine defensively, as long as he's in good shape. That line didn't do much tonight. Doc, I expect a lot from Doc, and I think he can provide some offense. And it's not the defense. I think he's underrated defensively. That wasn't what I was looking for from him. I was looking for something from that line offensively, and didn't really provide it tonight. You know. -1 between them. What? No shots for Bolduc, no shots for Doc. And Evans, did he get any shots? No. So the line never got a shot on goal. So, yeah. He didn't spark that line as far as I'm concerned. But, hey, you're allowed to disagree with me, right? I give you more in a month anyway, sir. Good thing I'm not married. Nobody's taking my debit card or CC away from me. Yeah. Yeah. I wish the heck I miss Brian. He was I don't know. I mean, he got in an accident, but he said, like, I'll probably eventually get back. I wish, he went from being never missing a freaking episode, and he hasn't been back on since he went on his trip and then got in a car accident. But hopefully, Germain, Brian, joins us here and gets back in the loop. Grant, how does the Holmberg injury affect Tampa in the playoffs? Yeah, I guess he's solid enough. Obviously, Hedman's a bigger, there's a bigger hole, right? But I don't know. Is he gone? Is he like, have they said he's out for long term or something like that? But I haven't heard what the scoop is on that. That line needs to get at least a few shots. Never noticed that before. Yeah. You don't get a single shot. I don't know. We all miss Brian. Wish him a speedy recover. Yeah. And it's Brian with a Y, by the way. It's like Brian Murray. Most people don't know that. He told me that his name is Brian with the Y. All right. Looks like I'm caught up here. Did I miss anybody else's posts? Mark reminded me of one that, oh, there it is. $50 donation night in for you boys. Make it happen. Yeah. No, doesn't look like we're going to hit the 50 mark tonight. I should have said that the monetization still isn't working, but I'm too honest. Worked this afternoon. Here's a patch that I missed. Game is starting to slow down for Demidov. I can see Kucherov playmaking ability. Oh, yeah. He's going to be a 100-point guy. We have 2 number 1 D-men. So lucky. Yeah. Surprising thing about Demi is the amount of puck battles he wins at his size. Still think he will add muscle to go along with his skill. Well, he's what? 6 foot, half inch. He's not skinny by any means. But yeah, he's ultra competitive. Kyle's saying we have 2 number 1 D-men. So lucky. Yeah, absolutely. Can you file a claim with YouTube for the afternoon pod, Grant? I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. I noticed that the friggin' ads came up, so they better end up compensating me for it. If they're saying, you know, monetization is unavailable, but then they show the ads, I'll get in touch with them if it doesn't get straightened out. But it's not like it's that much money anyway. Only have 1,000 views, you might make $10. I'm not rich, but I give what I can. Oh yeah, Mark, you give more than anybody, buddy. You and Donnie McCaskill. Game is starting to slow down for Demi. Absolutely. Demi is quickly becoming a superstar. In 3 years, he will be unstoppable. And Slav, too. We got Reinbacher to be the right side D-man, so I'm waiting for him to make us all forget we need another right D-man. Yeah. Well, James Pickford and his number 1 son might have something to say about that. They're going to put in the work anyway. I think that's cool that you got in touch with me there. You know, they're dedicated. Coop did mention a timeline for his return, only that it's not good. Oh, didn't mention. Okay. Habs have the most points in the NHL since the trade deadline. Blues are second. Hughes and Armstrong have special powers. You know what? Trading for players at the deadline doesn't guarantee anything, does it? And yeah, I was disappointed in part because it would have helped my podcast. So there was a bit of selfishness there. I mean, I did an 8-hour, 6-hour podcast, and numbers never got great because the Habs never made a frickin' deal. So there was some, you know, some selfishness on my part in that regard. But as it turned out, you know, not making a trade hasn't seemed to affect them too much. It's funny what good goaltending will do for a team, right? It's such a key. I mean, the fact that they were as good as they were without consistent goaltending, it just goes to show that they're a damn good team. Like the 19 guys that are on the ice are pretty damn good. They've got top 3 first line. They have one of the best second liners, certainly one of the most skilled second liners in the league in Demidov. They've got a solid defense that picks up a lot of points, and one of the top 5 blue liners in the league, and Dobson might be top 10 or close to it, and that's not even counting Matheson. Pretty solid team. Mark threw me a Just because. Go Habs, go. Thanks, Mark. You don't need to twist my rubber arm. How would you rant Hudson and Dobson, either franchise D or both? Well, let me rant a bit about those two. Um, yeah, well, James, I can't believe you're still up, buddy. How would you rate Hudson and Dobson? Franchise D? Well, I wouldn't call Dobson a franchise D. They're top 2D. Hudson's a number 1. Dobson's a number 2. Does that sound fair? Goals a game this year. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the year that did you put up the year that the 92-93 season? What were the goals per game 92-93, Eddie? Because that's what we're comparing it to, right? I don't know if it was answered earlier, but does anyone know why Gouli was out? Maintenance night. Hey, get Engstrom in there. That made sense, right? Engstrom in for a game. Gouli probably a little. They call it a maintenance, and that's fine. They're being careful with him. They don't want him injured for the playoffs, and get Engstrom in against a Florida team that, safe to say, was not an intimidating group. It was almost like him playing another AHL game. So that was smart. I liked what they did there. James, still up, eh? With how volatile goalie position is, what would it take for you to give any of our goalies long-term contract? What would it take? Like, you mean how much would it cost? Because well, it depends on what they're asking, but you can sign them 4 or 5 years, I think. I know what you're saying, but I'd avoid a 7-8 year deal because you just don't know, right? But Dobie can't ask that much, but I'd consider signing him now. Like, I guess this year they could probably extend him. See if he would take 5 years at $6 million a year or something like that. Does that sound reasonable? 6.48. Okay, so was there more goals per game then? Wish you'd have put up this year's again. 6.16 this year. All right, so yeah. So it's pretty in line, the scoring, right? The save percentage of the league this year is the lowest it's been in 30 years. Goalies have it tough, which makes what Dobie is doing even more impressive. I agree. Hey, I just got through it, Mark. I understood I understood it. We're both on our second beers here. Or, well, whatever. Second spliff. How many seasons of good play you would have to see? Well, okay. Well, the thing is that you okay, that's weird. I lost all of the viewers on X. Something happened to the X. Okay, the X factor. All of a sudden, I was down to 90, and okay, well, they're all on YouTube. There's a couple of weird things happening. YouTube API issues. Mark, you got any idea what that is? You're more a computer guy than internet guy, right? YouTube is currently experiencing some issues with their APIs that might prevent some users from going live on the destination. Our team is monitoring the platform for further updates. Okay. I feel for Cappy. I think he's been going through something. I'm optimistic that he'll bounce back in the playoffs. He's a great player with a bright future. We all have rough patches. Go, Cappy, go. Hey. Nice words, Ben. I agree. Yeah, he could be going through something. There seems to be, a little something bothering him. He's a rookie, asked a lot to play second line center he's played against all the top centers in the league this year and held his own. So yeah. I read that NHL started tracking shots differently. Oh, okay. I know as much about internet as any, sir. I know a lot more about it than most. Okay, there you go. I'm not sure what the API, what it means, but we've got an IPA. Well, not quite, mostly. Well, folks, say something now or forever hold your peace. We seem to be running out of discussion points. Enforces a default 10,000 units. Okay. I don't know what any of that means, but thank you for the explanation. I love Dobes' FU attitude. He's got poise, and I think he gives the boys some confidence and even a bit of jam. Right. No. That's part of it, I think, Eddie. Oliver hasn't played a hell of a lot of games before in a year. A little worn down. He's still got to get stronger, prove his skating a little more. That'll come. And but hopefully they might even sit him a game or two here, get him ready for the playoffs. He went to the Olympics. A lot of people didn't. Even though he didn't play a whole hell of a lot, it's still practicing every day, the travel, all of that stuff. Other people were laying on beaches and he was practicing turn. He's always been a very good playoff performer too, and I expect him to have a good playoff. Dobes wants it. He has the net every day, it looks like. Yeah, absolutely. Before, if a goalie stopped a shot heading outside the net, it was considered a stop. Now they predict if the shot would have missed the net. There you go. getting too technical. Dobes compete level reminds me a little of Roy. That fire burns deep. Good point. Just a matter of time till he gets into a goalie fight. Yeah, no way. Dobes wants a net, I was trying to say. Okay. Looky here, George Saros. Sarosi. Thank you, George. $13.99 Canadian. Yes. Looking forward to Thursday night. Who sits? Who plays? Well, folks, I don't know. We got 78 here. You guys want to do this for another half hour? I could do it. I always feel obligated to stay a little longer when I get a nice donation like that. I don't mind, but just as long as people are going to hang in. I think that it's a combination with players getting more skilled. Yeah. Who was that? Who was it near the end of the game that Dobes gave a jab to? Greer? Yeah, I think it was. Keep you up till the wee hours if you let us, Grant. Oh, jeez. Well, 3 beer night. Sometimes 3 dog night is going to be a 3 beer night. You know what? What the hell? I'm going to go get another pint and do another half hour or 20 minutes, okay? You guys, you're a bad influence. Let me tell you. How many beers are warranted? Cole gets 50. Yeah. Might be a four beer night that night. So Cole getting 50 and Mark paying up. Hmm. 3 goals, 3 beers. You don't need an 8-goal blowout, Grant. Yeah. Yeah. So, by the way, it's been a dozen games that the Habs have not given up. Last 12 games, they've not given up more than 3 goals. That is a sign of a playoff contender right there. You know, you can score goals in bucketfuls. I always harken back, and if Sheldon's still around, he'll know what I'm talking about, the Brandon Wheat Kings. You know, Billy Derlago, Brian Propp, Ray Allison, Laurie Boschman, just filled the net. And came up against the Peterborough Petes in the Memorial Cup and got, a bunch of guys that I don't think they had a 100-point scorer, but check you to death, and they lost. And it all, taught me a lesson early on that defense wins championships. You gotta have good defense. Oh, it's weird. Now the live viewers are back on X, and 500 are watching apparently. Hey, if you're watching on X, Elon doesn't pay me. Hop on over to the YouTube channel, Habscast, and join us in the live chat. I promise that I'll get to your questions and your comments if you do. Grant, would you be down to make a video about the basics of scouting? What goes into it? What are the things you look for most? Transferable skills to NHL, and when you avoid prospect? I don't know. It might be a little dry. I'm not real good at those types of things. It's got to be kind of spontaneous for me, Like I can talk about it during the podcast a little bit, but like I can tell you right now, like things I look for the most. I mean, skills obviously always going to be important, but if two players are anywhere close skill wise, and even if there is an edge to one guy skill wise, I still want the competitive SOB, and the smart player, because even when you're having not the best night, maybe you don't have it physically. If you're a smart player, you're still going to play decent. Like Nick Suzuki. How often does Nick Suzuki have a truly poor game? He might make the odd mistake here and there, but because of this, it was the same with Markov. How often did Markov have a bad night? Not very often, right? Because of that IQ. Wayne Gretzky, same deal. So, and Marty Lapointe's the same. Like I've asked Marty before, and he said competitiveness and IQ, and I agree. I'm the same. I try to I put an emphasis on players that I think will help you win at playoff time, because at the end of the day, your stats aren't that. Your regular season stats, they're nice. I mean, you need the guys to get you to the playoffs, but you need the Claude Lemieux type guys too, right? They're the most important. And like it's why I ranked a guy like Podkolzin ahead of Zegras in his draft year. Now, would you, based on what they've done so far in their careers, regular season, skill-wise, Zegras better? Yeah. But you want to win a playoff game, and I think we'll see it in the future, but I like the Podkolzin type guys, right? Competitive son of a bitch that's going to play hard for you in the playoffs, and still has some skill too, right? But there, I just did a video, James. Did you like Dobes no goal gesture after the last shootout save? Oh, I missed it, George. I was already up getting prepped there. I had to get everything ready on the for the post-game show, but no, I didn't see that. Yeah, Tyrion wouldn't like that too much, eh? Did you see the interview with Terry Ryan that I did here? He didn't like Terry too much. That was you'll have to watch that. It's about 2/3 of the way in to the interview. Liam interviewed Terry Ryan. The games are getting tighter and the Habs are playing better. Really good sign for the playoffs. They were playing better. I don't know the last three, but yeah, they're 9-1. Man, you know what I just keep thinking about? How Suzuki, when it comes to about to come off a shift, he always seems to make the right plays. Yeah, I do. What I also like about Susie, and it's like Nick is the main reason why Canada even made it to the gold medal game, or even made it to the medal round, like the last two. That game against, was it the Czechs? Dumps it in, right? And goes for it. They're changing the lineup, but he does it all the time with Montreal. The puck gets dumped in. The other two guys change up. Susie goes in and forechecks. The new guys come in, but Susie, makes sure that there's somebody pressuring the defense so that they can't just easily bring it out of the zone, right? And but I loved that play. Like, that was the big play. Yeah, the tip was great, but him going in, and instead of coming off, he hesitated, he delayed, came across the blue line, little dump in, not dumping it in from center ice and not being able to get to it first. A little dump in where he could be on the puck as quickly as a defenseman, won that puck battle, got it around the boards, circled, came out in front, tipped the shot. Canada stayed alive. But you see that all the time with Montreal, where he Caulfield and Slav get off. He stays on a little longer to pressure on the forecheck, so that the other team can't just easily exit the zone. And when you do that, when you easily exit the zone, the outlet passes can sometimes spring the other team for a 3-on-2 or whatever, because the guys that have changed still aren't quite into the play. He does it all the time, and it paid off. In that game at the Olympics, with just his IQ. He's just so smart. I think scouting is so interesting and underappreciated, but nowadays it's mostly engagement farming. Yeah. Well, you're free to ask me questions about scouting. I answer them here, right? You know what I just keep thinking about? How Suzuki, yeah, sorry. Asking for the secrets of the trade. Yeah. Compete, game sense, and character. I think those are tops. Yeah. Well, compete's part of the character part, right? If you compete your ass off, you invariably have high character. They go hand in hand. I always hear about size and skating. Yeah. Well, there's lots of guys that are 6'3", 6'4" that can skate, but they aren't that competitive. I don't have time for those guys. Or they don't hit a lot or whatever. No. I just checked money, power Money Puck Power Rankings, they have the Habs 14th overall. Well, their expected shots, during a full moon aren't very good, and that's the most important thing, right? Oh, geez, we just lost like half the crowd. Oh my God, down to 38. Everyone turn into a pumpkin at midnight or what? I'm certain McDavid would trade away all of his accolades for one cup. Oh, yeah. Must be extremely hard to compare prospects between leagues. Not necessarily, James. I mean, you still look at their skating, you look at their size. They are important. You look at their competitiveness. You look at their smarts. Like, you can be either smart or dumb in no matter what league you're playing in. You look at their stats. You look at their shot. Like, you check off all the boxes on a guy, no matter what league they're playing in. You try to factor in uh, the level of competition, obviously. And it's tougher. When it's tougher is when you're looking at a kid that's playing pro hockey and they're getting 5 minutes a night, like a lot of Swedish players, sometimes in Russia, in their draft years, they're only seeing 5 minutes of ice time. Then it's tough. But you hope that they play some hockey against their peers, and you put a lot of stock in that. It's like Slav in his draft year. I put a lot of stock into what he had done in previous Ivan Holinka tournaments, what he had done in the Holinka the summer before. Didn't really put a pile of emphasis on his point totals playing in a low scoring liga at 17 against men. But then again, studied his game and noticed that he was making great passes, making a lot of great plays, and they weren't being converted because he was playing on third line in Liga in a very low scoring league. He was a bull. He was already overpowering men. Had a great playoff, was top 6 on his team in scoring for a 17-year-old in Liga. That I always put a lot of emphasis in playoff because that's what they're going to be doing. That's, if they're good in the playoffs in junior and in Liga and men's leagues when they're 17, they're probably going to be good playoffs NHL. And then also I put a lot of emphasis on what he did at the Olympics. And I know there were a lot of people that said, oh, well, yeah, but he did it against Kazakhstan and this. I don't care. The Kazakhstan national team could whip 90% of the junior teams in a game. All of these teams he played against at the Olympics, they're still freaking good. They're men and they're decent hockey players. People discounted that he was the MVP of the Olympics because it wasn't full of NHL players, and that was a mistake. He showed that he could put a team on his back and will them to a friggin' bronze medal as a 17-year-old in the Olympics. Like, that made him a national hero, and he never bowed to the pressure. He embraced it. That told me everything you need to know about his character, about his competitiveness, and it just all the people that looked at his stats in the regular season in Liga And because they weren't great, said, "Oh no, he'll never score as much as Shane Wright will in the NHL." So wait and see. You obviously haven't been scouting him, because if you watched him, you knew better. '85-'86, Patty's save percentage was 1.001 better than the league average. Are you talking regular season, Pat, Eddie? 8.94 league average, 8.85, so a little better. Yeah. So his save percentage is 0.008 better than league average, and Patty's in 93-94, or did you mean to say 92-93, was 9% better. So, but are you talking regular season? I have a feeling Patty's save percentage playoffs might have been higher than that. No? Habs are the ultimate form if they can beat anyone or lose to anyone. Yeah, depends on which type of Habs show up. That's well put, and I agree. They can play down, they can play up. So hopefully come playoff time, they play up. Right? '92-'93, Patty's save percentage in the playoffs was .929. The next year it was .930. So that's what counts the most. .923 in '85-'86. So Patty, come playoff time, Eddie always stepped up, right? Like '85-'86, his regular season save percentage was .875. Playoff time, .923. So big game goalie. '92-'93. I don't know if you got those stats right. They have him for .930 in '93-'94 for his save percentage. That is why I'm not very worried about opponents. Yeah. Well, they're going to shop money puck, that's for sure, Mark. If they does Ottawa still have them higher percentage winning the cup too? Probably. Cup is on the table with a goalie on fire. They're game changers come playoff time. Yeah. Dobes separate himself as the number one by far. Oh yeah. There are teams above them that are head scratchers. Which Buffalo team shows up for the playoffs, right? Yeah. I had a lot of people disagreeing with me on Slav, that's for sure. If there had been a Celebrini or something in that draft class, then yeah, you don't rank Slav first overall. But I didn't see any franchise players. The best player I saw was Slav. Hudson was one of the best I saw too, but learning lesson for scouts there. Sometimes you can you have to put size on the back burner. Stole a nice win tonight. Good night, all. Okay, drum dude. I don't know if I'm even going to finish this beer. I maybe shouldn't have cracked it. Hopefully, the Buffalo team that shows up is the one we've seen in the last little while. Definitely beatable. Yeah. Thompson, I think, is he's fighting something right now. The new staff effect is wearing off on the Sabres, maybe, eh? Match is just starting to get a bit old. I don't know. I think picking up, sometimes they were on such a roll. Why did they have to get two defensemen in, right? And it's Stanley and Shen, and they got to play them, and Stanley sucks. Yes, yeah, quite a difference, eh, Eddie? Patty stepping up when it counted. Well, we got a glimpse of it the year before when he was great in the AHL playoffs, right? And we saw it with Carey too. No, that's what it. No, it didn't, Ken. If they'd have got Parayko, okay, but then they thought, oh well, we got to do something here. Mm. So they get two defensemen. So they take two that are helping Buffalo win out of the lineup, put the two new guys in, and it's screwed with chemistry. And it's clearly Kent puts a lot of stock in chemistry, and I think Marty does too. And there's something to be said for it, right? Why mess with a team, a successful team, that much? Like that's 33% of your defense. You got six defensemen. You replace two of them. Well, that's almost half your damn defense. So, yeah, I know. They had to get two big defensemen. He said, "Well, look what I did. We only won with but it's not like Buffalo didn't already have a big defense core with friggin' Samuelson and Power and Darlene and you know, but yeah, got to add another 6'6" guy and another. Yeah, I know. It's the Bergie effect. Yarmo should have just plugged his ears. Do you think that size is getting overrated? Yes and no. Uh, you got to be careful with it. You need size, but you need smart. You know, you get a big player that's competitive and smart. Okay, they're not all competitive and smart. I don't think the D they got were upgrades at all. No, I agree, James. I believe that they panicked a bit. Guys, I apologize, but I have to. I'll be right back. You can't type to see. Well, you're on your second spliff. At least you have an excuse, Mark. All right. I'm going another 5 minutes. So if you've been watching for 2.5 hours and you've been thinking about making a donation, you better do it soon. That's why I stopped drinking booze. Bladder doesn't like it anymore. Yeah, it's a little quick. It could really turn out well in the Habs' favor that they kept it quiet at the deadline. Yeah, could be. Typing sideways from my couch. No, that doesn't help. No. You're a little sideways. I get it, Mark. Yeah. I've got a little end table. Jeez. Anybody else? Mark, the only one that listens here, or what? Thanks for the tuning, Mark. I hope we're not dipping into your happy hay funds there, buddy. Ken makes me feel better. Thank you, sir. Yeah, sideways on the couch, 3 pillows, my hat pillow, keyboard. I can relate, Mark. I know all about it. Jeez, we still got 70 people watching. I won't tell you how much I make, but I don't worry about me. I'm financially responsible. Okay. No, I wasn't asking how much you make. Just as long as you don't have to dip into your indica funds. Numbers have gone up again. Yeah, it's weird, eh? Another 100. 100? Oh, CZK. I'm really excited about this team. Thanks, James. That's pretty cool. 300 Czech Karunas or whatever you want to call them. Even if it doesn't work out this playoff, the future is bright. And what they're doing is beyond the wildest expectation. Sorry. Yes, I know. Second youngest team in the league, in the playoffs, have all their draft picks, have one of the best, like ignore Scott Wheeler's list, Montreal's top 5 in prospects outside the NHL. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a little biased, but I'm also not lying. They've got a great group. So no, I'm really impressed. Wouldn't it be something that we won the cup? Would that make us the youngest team ever to do it? I don't know about that, but definitely in the mix. I think the 83, 84 Islanders were pretty young. I'm just checking here. I know, like, Potvin was their oldest defenseman. The average age of the Islanders was approximately 26.42. years old. Oh, wait a sec here. I got the wrong year. They're 25.9 to 26.7 years of age in 81. So the Habs are even a little. That has to be one of the youngest teams. '79-80. The Islanders had an average age of 25.42. Outside of Smith, many key players were 25 or younger. While younger cores have existed in NHL history, modern era data suggests a 24.6 average for some Pittsburgh teams. Okay. Well, I think it would be a couple of the Penguins teams and the Islanders in the first year. 25.4. What's the Habs? It's got to be about that, right? So very few. Very few. Logan Stanley is fifth in time on ice. Mets 14. Timmins 15. Yeah. Timmins should be playing ahead of Stanley. Sorry. I have to keep supporting my favorite hockey show. Absolutely. Thank you. They're the youngest team to make the playoffs, so if they win the cup, they would be the youngest to do that. There are other Habs shows? No, there aren't. I know, so I'm repeating what I heard. Okay. Well, what's the average age of yeah, well, wouldn't be, it'd be younger ones than that, right? Like Sid's first cup, they had some pretty young players, the core anyway. You take into account how young the top six is, and the veterans are almost on the bottom six. Exactly. The Habs in 85, 86, 24.8. There you go. Well, the Habs had a pile of rookies. Now, the thing with that, Mark, is like that's including everybody that even played a game. As far as the regular players go, you'd have to look into it pretty deeply. But, like Montreal had a bunch of rookies and they didn't all play every game. So how do you know, how do you judge the youngest average team? Do you include every single guy that played in the playoffs, even if it's somebody that played one or two games, or do you take the 18 that played just about every game? So it's kind of tough to answer that question. But yeah, those Habs teams were pretty young. now that you mention it. The Islanders, I know, because I look back, and the reason why I remembered the Islanders especially was like I was making the point of why, and this was when everybody was on the bandwagon of that you gotta trade, that they aren't going to re-sign Matheson, they're going to trade him, and I was making the argument that no, you have to have a veteran defenseman, at least one. Every Cup winner does, and the only exception was that first Islanders Cup win, where Potvin was like the old guy, and he was 26 or 27. It's the only time, but Potvin might as well have been 32. He was mature beyond his years at that time. Yeah, I know. Top six, crazy, right? 23 years of age. And four of the defensemen under 230 games of NHL experience. All of them, four of them. So, and then with Carrier out and Engstrom in, how young is that defense core? It's crazy, right? One defenseman over the age of 27, over the age of 26. All right, folks. Yeah, well, that's not what I got, but need some good veteran experience that don't play bottom roles. Probably. And I think next year you'll see it. Maybe this summer. Yeah, Matheson's about that, 5 years older than Dobson, right? He's not 5 years older than Carrier. If you include Carrier, I think there's 4 years, 3 years difference between them. Yeah, well, AI told me a different thing, so you just never know, right? AI tends to cut a few corners here and there. All right. One last look at Teddy Magoo, as we call him. Yeah, once we get Rhino up, that's it. All right, folks, I'm on my last sip of beer here. It's 12:41. I best bid you adieu. Can my dog? Well, that one's passed away, but no, Chester's too big. I can't lift him up. He doesn't like it, or I would. Have a good night, Grant. Great show for a great win. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Mark. Chester. He's having a nap. I got to let him out, actually. It's one of the reasons why I got to pack her in. Okay, folks. Next time I'm on the couch. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, Chester's not a pick-me-up kind of dog. Okay. 2:42. I think I paid my dues here. Everybody happy? Everybody satiated? Thanks again, as always, folks. Thank you, Mark. Best community out there, that's for sure. You guys, well, you guys make it that. Okay. Have a good night, and I'll do some sort of a video later on today, and I hope you can tune in. All right, everyone, have a grand rest of your evening. Have a great sleep. James, get to bed, buddy. Okay. Good night, everyone.